After you've got an order, now what? How do you send it to your customers? Which shipping courier do you use? You want to send it in nice packaging, but it's too expensive. What if I told you you can make custom packaging without spending thousands of dollars? There's so much to figure out when you're growing and starting a business. For the longest time, I thought custom packaging would be so expensive, and after countless hours of research and trial and error, I found some different ways to make custom packaging simple but effective to make an impactful unboxing experience. Let me save you hours of research. I've broken this video into two main sections. We will look at shipping and how you can find the best shipping courier and the best rates for the country you're in, and packaging and branding and how you can apply branding to your packaging that saves you time and money. Save this video because you will want to refer back to this later. Share this with someone who wants to level up their packaging or just starting out and want to save some time and money. What I've learned is you can start simple and then upgrade as you grow. Today I'll show you some things I wish I knew before I started and how packaging plays a role in your brand. I spent so much time looking at great packaging, from things as simple as a thank you card, different types of packaging, and how it adds to your whole brand experience. When I first started, I didn't know how to ship my products, and it all sounded really complicated. There are so many things to consider. Which is the cheapest? How can I get the best rate? Which delivery options are better? Which one has better tracking? And what type of packaging do I use? One mistake I've made in previous businesses is not checking the size and weight before buying my packaging. I've bought packaging that was the wrong size for my products, and then I was left with a lot of different size packaging that didn't really fit my products. So how do you know what to use? First, let's review the size and weight of your products. Does it fit in a small, medium, or large box? Or does it work in a satchel instead? This is so important so you understand the shipping costs, so you don't overspend on shipping. You might buy a bigger box to put your products in, but it might cost a little bit more to ship. So let's double check before you buy your packaging to avoid overspending. Now go grab your products and we will check the size and also weigh them with a small weigher. You might have multiple products with different sizes and weights, so it's very important to assess these up front. Create a master list of all your products and the most common products that people order to find your most common size. For example, my plushies come in many different sizes. My most common would be these penguins or these whales, some bows. The size that currently works for me is a small box of this size. In this box I can fit up to 1 to 2 plushies, and then I can also fit up to 6 small plushies depending on the size, which is really great. So I can use this size for various orders. So occasionally I have medium to large plushies, which I don't have a specific box for yet. When there is an order, I sometimes just reuse boxes that I have received from other parcels to save on costs until I get more frequent orders for larger plushies. Choosing a box or a satchel will depend on the products you have. Have you ever received a product that was broken? How was your experience? Was it packaged correctly or was it packaged poorly? It's important you choose packaging that will uphold during shipping to avoid any damage, especially for fragile items like ceramics. We need to consider two things: the external packaging and the internal packaging, and how the external will protect it during shipping and the internal will also protect the item from moving. The two most common packaging types are satchels and boxes. How do you know which one to choose? Satchels are very light, cost-effective, and weatherproof. It's great for soft items like clothing and towels. Shipping boxes are stronger and are more durable than satchels and will help minimize any damage. This is especially important for fragile items like ceramics or jewelry. Spending a bit more on packaging for fragile items is worth it, as you don't always know how well the package will be handled during shipping, especially for international shipping. We will touch on packaging and branding a little later. Avoid mistakes when sending parcels by ensuring the size and the weight is accurate so you aren't overpaying for postage. What size box or satchel will your products fit in? A small, medium, or large? Also check how much your product weighs and how much it weighs with your packaging as well. Something to also consider is the cubic and volume size of your box. Most shipping couriers will charge whichever is greater. For example, your products might be light, but in a large box, you'll be charged whichever is greater. Or if your product is small, but it is heavy, it will be charged whichever is greater, which is the weight. If your packaging is heavier, a flat rate satchel might offer better rate, but you might be using the courier's branding instead of your own packaging. Avoid packaging your small items in larger boxes, otherwise you'll be charged more for the size. Next, you need to check the total weight of your products, plus the box or satchel you're using. I didn't calculate this when I first sent my orders, so calculate this at the beginning so you can avoid any extra charges. I checked the weight of my plushies, but I didn't check the weight of my plushies with my box, which brought my weight to the next rate limit, which meant I had to pay more. This is when you can consider changing the size of your box if there is empty space, or you can consider changing it to satchels because they're lighter. It only gets a bit complicated if I have multiple plushies in my order or if I have medium to large plushies. Make sure you check with your courier all the different weight limits within your country to avoid any extra costs. You know what products you're going to ship. Now, who do you ship it with? Have you received your parcels within a few days or within a few weeks? Your shipping experience is part of your customer experience, and you want your customers to have a good experience so they buy again. Your shipping delivery times will also influence the customer's decision to buy. Start by comparing different companies. Besides looking at the cheapest rate, you also want to consider, does your shipping courier offer flat rate shipping? This will standardize your shipping pricing. In Australia, Australia Post offers flat rate shipping boxes and satchels, which you can add up to 5 kilos of weight for the same rate. This might work for small and heavy products. How fast is delivery? Do they offer different shipping speeds like standard and express? Do they allow you to use your own packaging? Check if there are standard sizes in your country. Are they fast and reliable for domestic and international orders? Does your country allow you to ship to different international zones? Do they offer tracking? Most people expect to receive tracking these days, and it's so important to make sure that you know the customer has received your order. Compare different companies and use the different shipping calculators and compare rates. This will give you an estimate idea of what shipping costs are involved for the size and weight of your parcels. You need to consider all these factors when shipping your product. You don't always just want the cheapest option. Sometimes the cheapest option might be a terrible delivery experience in terms of delivery times, and they might not be as fast and reliable as other shipping couriers. You can offer different rates to customers and just be really clear and upfront with the different shipping options, and they can select their preferences. It might be standard, express, or maybe the cheapest option, which will be the longest time. You can leave it up to the customers. If you do provide these options, just make it really clear to the customer the delivery times and rates. In Australia, there are a few courier companies that you can pick from, and the most common ones I've come across is Australia Post and Sendle. Their shipping rates vary, and the speeds and the reliability they offer are also different. Both of them offer quite competitive rates depending on where you're shipping. If you're based in other countries, key ones to look for are USPS, UPS, Canada Post, UK Royal Mail, FedEx, and I think there's a few more depending on where you're located. Start with looking at those different shipping calculators to compare all the shipping rates for the size and the weight of your products. You've now got a rough idea of how much it will cost you to ship your products. What are the shipping rates you're going to offer your customers? Most people expect to have free shipping over $50 or $100 or a certain threshold, and this will help increase your average order size. But if your profit margins aren't as high and you can't offer free shipping yet, like with handmade or specialized products, you need to offer the best rate for your customers. Shipping rates are increasing, but you can provide different delivery options and different rates to your customers. Can you absorb any of the shipping costs into your products, or will you pass the full shipping costs to your customers? Could you standardize shipping and offer a flat rate depending on the size and weight of the products they order? Shipping rates will also vary for domestic and international shipping. In order to figure out the shipping rates that you will offer customers, check the shipping rates that we looked at earlier to figure out our base rate plus any additional packaging. Then you can create shipping profiles on your website to offer your customer different options. There might be separate profiles for domestic and international and different rates for standard and express. For Etsy, it's a little bit harder because you can only offer a flat rate and then any additional cost afterwards. If you own your own website like Shopify or Square, usually you can put in different shipping profiles depending on the size and the weight, and then you will add in also the shipping weight of your products when you're listing them, so when they're added in the cart it will be calculated automatically. Once you've picked your preferred courier and figured out your shipping costs, a general formula is packaging costs plus shipping costs and any handling costs involved. After you've picked your shipping courier, it's a good idea to open up an account with them. Most shipping couriers offer a business account with business rates, and usually it's cheaper. They usually offer better shipping rates. The more you send, the more you save. Or even just a standard account would be great, so you can pay and create your orders online. After you've created your account, you want to log in and add the parcel size, weight, and address. The reason this is important is because the shipping address will also determine the shipping rate. I have set up accounts with both Australia Post and Sendle, and they're both free to set up. So I can print my labels at home before going into the post office. It saves me time when I drop off my parcels, and it also gives me a tracking number so I can send it to my customers. If you don't have a printer, you can just start with handwriting the addresses on your parcels. If you don't have a printer, some postal services in different countries now offer a QR code, which means you can pay for your shipping and labels online and then show them a QR code once you go into the store, and they will print the label for you. If you're in the US, I've heard USPS and UPS offer their customers free labels, and it'll be worth double checking. I have the Dymo 4XL, and I've heard their min bin ones are also really popular, and I also use it to print my stickers for my packaging as well, which I'll touch on a bit later. The newer models of Dymo is the 5XL, and they only accept the Dymo branded labels, which can cost quite a bit. Compare a few different brands and find which is the cheapest for you. How to get free things from your courier. Most large shipping companies offer free things to their business customers. I've heard USPS not only offers the free labels, but also free boxes for those in the US. You can get free things at Australia Post. You can get the express shipping tape and the plastic sleeves for international labels. Think of the last time you ordered a product online. How was your experience? Unboxing a parcel is like unboxing a gift. Even if you know what's inside, there's always an element of excitement. So how do you create custom packaging that stands out and is affordable? Let me show you some ways so you can save a ton of money. Whether you're just starting out or looking to invest more into your packaging, it's as simple as choosing a different color for your tissue paper or your box. Using stickers is also a great way to add your logo to your packaging. So one day I sold a bowl on Facebook Marketplace. I packaged it in a mesh bag with my thank you card, and little did I know that would turn into a custom order. I didn't know it was a gift, and a week later, the person who received the bowl messaged me on Instagram saying that they loved my work and they wanted to order a custom pickle. The reason I'm telling you this is because packaging is so important. It's even as simple as putting a thank you card with your logo attached to your product. Therefore, if you add your socials and your contact details, it can lead you to more opportunities. You won't know who might be interested in your work if you don't put your name out there. You don't need over-the-top packaging. It can just be simple, and you can upgrade as your business grows. When I first started, I had minimal amounts of packaging, so I just started with reusing packaging that I got from other orders. A simple way to add your logo to your box or satchel is using stickers. It's relatively cheap, and I'd recommend getting a thermal printer as it doubles as your label printer and a sticker printer. I've used my thermal printer for labels and different types of stickers. You can even get creative and use it for product description and product labels. It's a great way to add personality to your brand. You can use stickers in multiple places on your packaging, such as boxes, envelopes, or tags. I've placed my logo on my box in 2 to 3 places. I like to add a small logo on the top. You can get creative by adding in playful copy or adding in instructions to your products. There's different ways you can print your logo using your thermal printer. You can use round sticker paper, or you can just use the label printer. I just paste my logo 3 times and I cut little strips that I can add onto my packaging. If printing stickers is out of your budget, there are a few other ways to add your logo to make your packaging look customized and branded. Stamps are also great to add your branding and your logo to your packaging. You can add a stamp on boxes, tissue paper, cards, envelopes, and anything else you can think of. You can also be really playful with the color that you use. I made these stamps for another business, and you can pretty much use this anywhere. You can add it on your box, add it to your thank you cards, or even labels. It saves you so much money rather than getting your logo printed on custom boxes. You can also be playful and change the type of ink that you use. Stamps can be used on tissue paper and adds a personal touch. It is quite expensive to get custom printed tissue paper. It's only cheaper if you buy in bulk, and you may not need that much at the beginning. Just get some plain tissue paper and stamp your logo in different places to make custom tissue paper. It will be a little time consuming, but once your business grows and you're ready to invest. But at the beginning, it's fine to just start off like this. You may hate hate having your logo printed onto custom tissue paper, so this is a good way to experiment to see what you like and what you may need in the future. You could even hand draw your logo if it's quite simple, but I'd recommend getting a stamp or a sticker because it'll save you time. And you can use it in multiple places. I'm currently just using stickers on my packaging, but I plan to get some stamps in the future. I'm still figuring out my logo, so until I finalize that, I will just be using stickers. I'm currently using stickers printed from my thermal printer because I can print low quantities without the commitment. So if I plan to change my logo in the future, I can just print the amount that I need and print new stickers when I change my logo. With a stamp, it's kind of set. So once you finalize your logo and you're happy with your logo, you can invest in a stamp. What I've seen other brands use is custom packaging tape. If your logo and your branding is finalized, it's also a great investment in getting nice packaging tape. You can get eco-friendly tapes as well, and adds a touch of color to your boxes or satchels. Adding your logo on your box or satchel is simple and effective and helps people identify your brand. Let me show you another method that I love. It adds a nice touch and looks quite expensive and is affordable. Have you heard of an embossing stamp? You just need two things. You need the embossing stamp and the stickers. It looks really simple and expensive. If you were to get embossing on your thank you cards or your boxes, it would cost so much money. This is a simple and nice touch to add to your packaging. You can use it on any paper, such as envelopes and thank you cards. I love the embossing effect. It's really nice and it looks premium. Once I finalize my logo, I really want to get an embossing stamp, but at the moment I don't really need one. It's a really nice touch to add your logo mark on different things. I prefer using embossing stamps because it saves so much money. It's still manageable with certain quantities. This is my favorite way to add a personal touch to my packaging. Is your product fragile and do you need to protect it during shipping? Tissue paper is a great way to wrap your product, but if you need additional protection, there's bubble wrap or eco-friendly options like the honey wrap. If you use tissue paper, you can use the stamp to add your logo, or you can use tracing paper and use a printer to print your logo on. You can play with different color tissue paper to match your brand. For example, if your brand is pink or purple, it will add a pop of color to your packaging. I currently use white to keep it quite simple. I like to add the tissue paper so when you're opening it, it's like a gift. So you can really just start simple. When your customer opens the box, the first thing they see is your thank you card and the tissue paper. Incorporating different colors to your packaging will help it stand out. For example, if I chose a black sticker, it wouldn't match my brand as much. So think about the color that you're using. If I use white, it's also quite plain. So I wanted to add a pop of color and I chose gold. Logo and branding is so important to help your packaging stand out. Let's have a look at Mecca and their different types of packaging and what they have in common. There's a Mecca and Sephora in Australia, so they're quite similar. They sell makeup, but look at their packaging. It's very nice and they have their logo on the front and back. And the color they use is really nice. There's three colors. There is a light peachy pink, a pink, and a dark pink. And in their gift boxes, they also use their three primary colors. They use their pink and their maroon color. And then once you open it up, it's really nice as well. So with their tissue paper, they use the same color. And you can also see they add a sticker with their logo on it as well. Even though the packaging types are different, so like their gift boxes and their carry bags, they've been playful with the different colors they use. Even though this has a stronger pink color, which is this pink here, you can still identify the branding through color. So you can see that they use two different types of logos. So they've got their main logos on this side, and then they've got their secondary logo shown as well. Logo plays an important role in your packaging and color plays an important role in your packaging. Getting bags printed like this and boxes printed like this costs quite a bit. So all the stamps and stickers can help us create custom packaging for the time being until we can invest a bit more into something a bit more polished like this. The eco-friendly boxes that they ship their orders in is also really well thought out and you can identify their brand even though they have used plain craft packaging on the outside. But once you open the box, there's a pop of color and they also have their logo. It's a creative way to make it eco-friendly. They add a little description here and it says that it's made with 50% recycled material and it's 100% recyclable. So you don't always have to think of putting your logo and your color on the external. You can keep it simple and you can add a pop of color inside your packaging. We went through different types of packaging earlier, satchels or boxes. Satchels and polymailers are lightweight and water resistant and great for soft products like clothing. It's also really budget friendly. Usually you can get satchels that are quite plain so you can add your sticker onto the satchel, or in the future you can can have your logo printed on a satchel. But until then, a sticker will do the same job. They also come in different colors, so you can pick a color that reflects your brand. I use pink because it's the closest color to my brand color, and if I used a darker color or a black, it wouldn't really match my brand. Envelopes are also great for stationery and illustration prints, or you can have a look at poly mailers for jewelry or fragile items. Depending on your products, boxes are great for more protection during shipping. A simple and plain box is enough to get started, so you don't need a fully printed and custom box just yet. Once you're more established and have more orders, you can look into getting boxes printed to save you some time. Like we touched on earlier, color plays an important role. So think about the color of the box that you want to use, or if you want to keep it quite simple using a white or craft box. You can add color to add personality to your brand. Instead of using white, you could use a pink or blue box. If you can't find a box in the color of your brand, you can use a simple white or craft box to begin with. You can add your logo with a sticker or stamp, and then also add a pop of color through tissue paper instead of the color of your box. Depending on what I'm shipping and to where, I like to use a box and a satchel. Satchels are water resistant and adds an extra layer of protection during shipping, especially for international orders that are traveling a long distance. It might be an added cost, but I would hate for someone to receive an order that was damaged due to shipping. So you're probably also wondering, why don't I just also use a satchel since plushies are soft? Since plushies are soft, they can be squished and it can deform. A box will help keep its shape during shipping, and the customer won't have to reshape the plushie when they receive it. By using a box, the customer will receive the product in almost the same condition that I shipped it in. It's personal preference, so test out what works for you and your product. It might be a bit of trial and error until you find your preference. The internal packaging is also just as important as the external packaging to ensure the product inside upholds during shipping. Is your shipping box enough to protect the products inside your box? Internal packaging is especially important for fragile items. We talked about tissue paper earlier. Think about the empty space to avoid any movement during shipping. You can add foam peanuts, air cushioning, or crumpled paper. I use shredded paper in mine. And if you need double layered protection, think about double layered cardboard for your boxes. All these things are to protect the product from moving during shipping. Other things to include in your packaging is thank you cards, stationery, business card, or a care card depending on your product. It's always nice to add a personal touch with a thank you card, whether it's printed or handwritten. It can be as simple as just writing thank you. I want my brand to be a bit more playful, so I've done that through color and the copy. My thank you cards are quite simple and they're printed in black and white for now, and in the future I'll plan to print them in color. I let people know that we have socials so they can tag us. For the moment, I don't have a separate card for a care card just yet. For now, I've added a note on the thank you card to let people know that it's not suitable for children under 3 because I use safety eyes for some of my plushies. I use 2 different sizes. I use the smaller ones as tags and the bigger ones as thank you cards for my packages. I'm starting with a small batch until I can do a bulk order. I printed a small batch at Officeworks on thicker paper for now until I upgrade my thank you cards. It's so important to add your socials and other important details like your website so people can contact you. You can consider adding QR codes so people can go directly to your website or your socials. Does your product have special instructions or steps to use for your products? Make it easier for the customer by providing everything they need about your product. If your product is new, it's a great way to also educate them in how to use it. Your thank you cards and your care cards can be separate cards, or it can be combined into one. These can be printed separately or double-sided, so you can add a handwritten message on the card. I saw someone else use this and I thought this was a really great idea. They printed a business card size as their thank you card. Getting business cards printed is quite cost effective because they are small. You can get a big quantity and it's usually quite cheap. I'd recommend starting with small quantities. You can start with just printing it at home or going to Officeworks to print your cards on thicker paper. It's a bit more time consuming, but it works at the beginning. And then once your business scales, you can get it professionally bulk printed, which will save you some time. Besides your logo, the font you use for your brand and your thank you cards can add to your brand identity and your personality. Your font choice can communicate your tone, mood, and personality. Your primary font should reflect your brand personality, and your secondary font you can use for body text. Where do you find good fonts? There are some places you can look at that are free and paid. There is a wide variety at DaFont and Google Fonts, which are free, or some paid options are Creative Fabrica or Envato. If you have a Canva Pro account, there will also be some premium fonts that you can use. Even at markets, add a personal touch to your bag. You don't need a custom bag at the beginning. You can add your sticker or your stamp on the bags. Branded bags can double as a gift bag, or you can offer gift wrapping with your tissue paper. Having a business card at the markets is also really important. It may lead to other orders in the future if they weren't ready to purchase on the day. It'll help with brand awareness, and you can add a touch of personality to your brand with the font and the colors you use. But isn't print dead and people want to be eco-friendly and paperless? Depending on your business and your branding, you can add a sign with your QR code and test which is more effective for you, either having a printed business card or a sign with your QR code. Today, I still think there is a place for both. Think about the customers at your market. Are they young or are they an older audience? What do they prefer? Are they digital only or older customers that like physical cards? Or is it a mix? You should cater to both so you widen your customer base. What I've learned is you don't need it all figured out to start. Start simple and upgrade as you grow. As you can see, I've started simple and you can add different touches to your packaging to add a personal touch. You don't need to compare yourself to bigger brands, especially when you're starting out. You can start simple with some of the ways we talked about today. And once you have grown, you can upgrade to more branded and polished packaging. For the moment, we're looking to save money with these methods. At the beginning, you will want to save money, but as your business grows, you will want to save some time. Don't overthink it and just keep it simple. And as you grow, you can change your packaging. All these things will create a memorable unboxing experience for your customer. From a great shipping experience to unboxing your products once they receive it in the mail. As your business grows, you'll prioritize time over cost and then improve your business efficiencies as you go. Let me know what you found most useful in the comments and which one you'll be trying out for your business. I hope this has helped you figure out your shipping and packaging for your business. If you need some help with your business, watch my guide and tips on how to start your business.